All right, so we are live. Welcome everyone to the 2016 New Scholar Orientation. We are so happy that you're here joining us, that you've come together from all parts of the country. And in the different screens, we're going to show you some of the people that are here with us. So before we start any introduction, we want to say thank you to the folks at MSU. If all of you can say hello. We are live from MSU Denver. Thank you so much for hosting us. Say hi again. Okay. We also have students from New York, and these students are Hunter College. We're Hunter College students. Hello, everyone. There we go. And they're on mute, but we heard some woohoo, right? And then we also have some students from Palm Beach State, and they are in Florida. There we go. Say hello. Hi. Great. With us, we also have, and we'll do introductions, but we also have Candy Marshall. And then we have Elena. And then we also have Tanya and Melissa. Great. So let's get this show started. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to watch a video. We went into the twilight zone there for a second.
I know the situation of these dreamers is wrong, and we should, we can do something about it now.
TheDream.Us is the biggest scholarship fund in the United States that's devoted exclusively to helping the children of undocumented workers go to college, because this is the only group of low-income students who have no ability to borrow or get any financial resources to take them to college, and so we're stepping in to try and fill that need.
So we now have 900 Dreamer students in 70 schools around the country, and we'll have 800 more starting this August and September when our new class enrolls.
These are the most extraordinary, committed, motivated young people. They're just so inspiring.
My name is Sadhana Singh, and I am a dreamer.
Oh, Sadhana. Sadhana is an amazing young woman. We discovered her quite by accident. She's going to school. She's 29 years old, and she's a sophomore in college. And she has been waiting that long for a chance to go to college.
Sadhana went to the TheDream.Us site. She applied to Trinity. She applied for a scholarship. She was accepted for both. And she is doing spectacularly well as a student.
I have to say that welcoming the Dreamers to campus has been one of the best things that has happened to Trinity. The students are among our best. I say that without exception.
It's been amazing at Trinity. It's been a complete 180 change of my life. I love learning. I love being in that environment.
The level of motivation of these students just knocks you over. They want education so badly, and they should be able to get it.
And that's why what Don and Amanda have done with the TheDream.Us is so powerful.
Meeting people like Don and Amanda has made me see that even though they're strangers, they care about me, and they care about my success and my ability to achieve something in life.
I hope we don't need it anymore. I hope at some point the United States people will recognize what incredible assets these students are, and that they'll put us out of business.
But in the meantime, we just want to help as many as we can, and everybody connected with this program knows we're doing something right and something important.
Okay, so that was our video. It's called Who We Are, and we'll send out the link in case you want to watch it again. And we'll start our presentation now. this is the agenda of what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to meet the team of TheDream.Us. Most of us are on. You're also going to get to see what you committed to do once you signed up and said, yes, I'm going to accept a scholarship. You're also going to review, and we're going to talk about your scholarship award, what this means, right, the dollar signs, and then also your resources, and of course, your scholar community. At each one of these sections, we're going to pause for questions. So just hold them. If you have something to write with, write them down, the folks that are here in the audience. The folks that are watching us through the Google Hangout, there will be a section where you can ask questions, and we're going to be sifting through those, and Melissa's going to read to them. So you saw in the video two of our founders, Don Graham, who used to be the owner of the Washington Post, the CEO of the Washington Post company. Don Graham is the visionary, and it's the person that has been pushing us and helping us fundraise for TheDream.Us. On top of Don is Carlos Gutierrez. He was the CEO of Kellogg, and he was also, after that, the Republican Secretary of Commerce during the Bush administration. We also have Henry Munoz, and Henry is a Democrat, and Henry is a designer, and he also works with the Democratic National Committee. And then Amanda Bennett, she is a fearless woman leader, and she currently is the director of the Voice of America. So we're going to stop the presentation for a second on the PowerPoint and let the folks who are with us in the Google Hangout present themselves. But really quickly, this is the Dream team. So it's comprised of TheDream.Us, Candy Marshall, who's our president, myself, Tanya Wilcox, who's the program director, David Velasquez, who's our program officer, and Melissa Barrera, our program coordinator. And also is our ISTS team, and Elena, who is with us, she's the account manager, and also her team, which is the ISTS customer care. And then, of course, our partner colleges. So we're going to pause right now, and we are going to let some of these folks introduce themselves. And we're going to start with Candy, our president.
So greetings all, this is Candy Marshall. I want to express my absolute congratulations to each and every one of you. The thing I want to share with you is just how special you are. We now have over 75 partner colleges across the United States, and when we go and visit these colleges and talk to the presidents of the colleges, each and every one of them talks about how special you are as students. They love having you on their campus. And this is what they say about you. They say you raise the bar. They said, other students watch what you do. You come with a motivation and a willingness to succeed. Other students see that and follow in your step. So as you go onto your campuses, one, I want you to know you belong there. I want you to know you will succeed. You've been selected from a huge number of scholars. And three, I want you to know you will raise the bar. So congratulations and welcome to our program.
Thank you, Candy. So now we'll have Tanya introduce herself.
Hi everyone, this is Tanya Wilcox. I'm here in California cheering you on to start a wonderful year at your new schools. My role is to work with each of our partner colleges to make sure that they are providing the support services that you need to make sure that you succeed in your quest for your college degree. And I want to echo what Candy said about how well our scholars are doing at the universities. I've been leading a data project for our schools, and we know that our students are really rocking at these places. They're excelling academically, they're persisting from semester to semester, from year to year. So you're following in the footsteps of some dreamers who are really resilient and driven and successful. And yet we acknowledge that you are going to need support through this process. So we here as a team between the partner colleges, the Dream.Us, and the ISTS are here to answer your questions and help you along the way in this journey. And we can't wait to see you graduate in 3, 4, 5 years. Yes.
Thank you, Tanya. And then we'll have now Elena introduce herself.
Hi everyone, this is Elena at ISDS. I am the program manager for the Dream.Us scholarship program, and I handle all of the application site and everything that you have already done as far as when you filled out the application and things like that. And then I also support our customer care department with all of the questions that you have. And congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. And then last but not certainly least, Melissa.
Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Barrera and I'm the program coordinator for the Dream.Us. Welcome everyone, I'm very excited for you and to be able to support you on this journey. My role within the within the Dream.Us is to support the team in events such as this one. So it's a pleasure welcoming you today and continue to supporting you throughout your career.
Thank you, Melissa. And so we'll go back to our presentation.
Gabby, it's Candy. Not sure if you can hear me, but at least for many of us, you are on mute.
Gabby, can you hear us?
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, going back to the presentation. So what I was saying is that we've had in the past scholars say this pledge, and this pledge is something that was adapted from the First Lady's initiative on higher education. And so what we want you to do, if you're sitting at home or if you're in school, we want you all to really feel pride. And so we want you to stand up. And I want you to repeat after me, and we're going to say this pledge together. Okay? So it starts with, I believe in my future and myself.
I believe in my future and myself.
I commit to enroll in college.
I commit to enroll in college.
I commit to persevere while I'm in college.
I commit to persevere while I'm in college.
I commit to support other scholars who want to go to college.
I commit to support other scholars who want to go to college.
I commit to graduate and join the workforce.
I commit to graduate and join the workforce.
To contribute to the economic prosperity.
To contribute to the economic prosperity.
And social richness.
And social richness.
Of my community and the world.
Of my community and the world.
Okay, so now you're officially a scholar of the Dream.Us. Not just kidding. All right, you all can sit down. So I really hope you believe this, right, and that you take it in. Again, you'll have this presentation, so if you just want to refresh yourself, you go back to it and say, okay, this is what I committed. And the other things that you committed to, right, there was a paper that you signed when you said, yes, I want this scholarship. You said that you were going to thank the donor. So we received hundreds of letters to our office And we read through those letters, and we take some of those letters and give to our donors, okay? And some of the letters that our donor, one of them, Don Graham, he actually displays them. So right around his office, there's like a little shrine of the Dream.Us, and there's some of your letters, right? And those are the letters that help and motivate our donors to keep going, right? They get to know you in a deeper, more personal level. We also ask you to be part of our Facebook community. So the majority of you in this room are already part of it, so thank you. At the end of this presentation, we're also going to give you a link to join that. You have to be accepted, but no worries. We're accepting people every day as they're coming in. But why a Facebook community, right? Well, we want you to feel that you are not alone, that you're actually part of a family, and a family that stretches from coast to coast. There are students there that have gone through a lot of the things that you've gone through. There's a lot of students that are going to have really good advice, but also there's where you can ask certain questions, right? Or maybe where you can share information, like, I have a book in psychology, I took this class last semester, does anybody want it or need it, right? Swapping books, swapping information. So the scholar community is really important for your development, but also so that you know and you can get information through there. We also ask you to sign up to receive text messages. So it's really important for us to communicate with you. And sometimes, as has happened to actually some of the people in this room and probably some of the people that are watching, you haven't received an email from us. And that's because your email was an email that you had maybe through your high school program, and that email has been disconnected or is no longer working, right? So we need to make sure that we're able to communicate with you. And so sometimes if you get a text message from us and says, yesterday we sent out an email, and you say, wait a second, I didn't get that email, well then you have to, one, check your junk mail or spam mail. If you didn't receive it, then you need to go to your ISTS portal and make sure that we have your correct email, okay? So that's why it's important that you get the text messages. And through the text message system, we also try to support you and give you a little bit of support with motivational text messages, and just kind of, you know, we don't bombard you too much with text messages, but here and then sometimes, so that you know and you're reminded that we're there behind you, pushing you forward. We also say and ask you to support fellow scholars and mentor new scholars. So hopefully this is a new campus or a new program that we've done a new relationship with the 3 institutions here in Denver. So you'll be the ones that set the standard of what it is to be a good mentor and a good leader, right? There's some of the students that are at other campuses. Those of you are Hunter, right? You will have other students that have been there and are going to be mentoring you. But next year, you'll have a whole new group of students, and we expect every single one of you to welcome them and to mentor them and show them the ropes, okay? Wouldn't you wish the new ones, right? You had somebody like that, right? So we also ask you to maintain a relationship with your student advisor. So quick question for the folks that are here in the room. It's very specific on the commitment. We ask you to meet with your scholar advisor how many times? Good, yeah. So people here in the room said once a semester. That is correct. At least once a semester, we ask you to meet with your scholar advisor. And your scholar advisor is there to support you. Maybe you need help with tutoring. Maybe you, next semester, want to do a class but can't get into the class and need help to figure out what department it is that you need to speak to be able to join that class. Your scholar advisor will be your liaison to your whole entire school. Okay, so it's really important and key that you have a relationship with that person. Your scholar advisor also reviews your educational plan. You should sit down with them and say, all right, I want to graduate in 2 years. What do I need to do to graduate in 2 years? And you create a plan of how you're going to do that. So make sure you are meeting with your scholar advisor. We also say and ask you to help us, right? So we are going into our 3rd year. Right now, one of the things that we are trying to look at, and you guys are new scholars, so more than likely we're not going to tap into you, but we're going to tap into our scholars that we've had for several years now. But we want to build an alumni association. So we're trying to figure out, what does that mean? What does that mean for you all to be part of an alumni association? What does it mean to say, I am a Dream.Us scholar, right? So we want to start talking about that, and we're going to start asking. There's also a survey that we're developing to ask you what social media do you most use and we can mostly work with to get the feedback, right? So it's really important that you give us feedback and that you work with us to continue to grow our program. Another thing that is going to be really key is that in the late fall, we're going to open a new scholarship round. So we're going to need every single one of you to help us get the word out. To put it on your Facebook account, to put it on your Twitter account, to get as much of the information that a new round has opened. And we're going to depend on every single one of you to help us get the word out. We ask you to maintain a full-time status and also to maintain a 3.0 GPA or better. Okay? Okay, so we're going to do a really quick activity. And what we're going to do is, if the folks at Hunter and Palm Beach want to do this with us, and if you're at home, please do this with us. So what you need to do is pick one of these questions that you have in front of you, and I want you to answer it. And I want you to answer it out loud. So the 5 questions are: what is a motto you try to live by? What do you value the most in life? The thing I would most like to accomplish this year is, I am in college because, and I believe I can do this because. So we're going to stop the presentation for a second. And we're going to go into our individual rooms. So we're going to see if there's anybody here that wants to come on and answer one of those questions. Yeah, we have a volunteer here. Okay. So introduce yourself. Tell us your name. So you have to say it out loud so we can hear it all the way over here. Right. So where are you going? What's your degree? And tell us what the answer of your question is.
I'm majoring in biology, and the motto that I want to live by is be the change that I wish to see in the world.
Great. Thank you, Efrain.
Thank you.
So does anybody at Palm Beach State or Hunter want to come up to your computer, introduce yourself, and tell us answer one of the 5 questions that we had for you? And then, okay, so wait just 1 second. We have to unmute you first. So Palm Beach State. Okay, we can hear you now. Oh, wait, no, sorry. You have to be really loud so we can all hear you.
Palm Beach, can you please unmute yourself?
Oh, Palm Beach is gonna go.
What now?
Hello?
We hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Katie. I'm a nursing student at Palm Beach State College. And the question that I want to answer is, I'm in college because I want to make a change in the world.
Nice.
Okay, so Hunter.
I think it's just hand up. Can they hear me? Oh, hello. My name is Denise What? Oh, I'll wait. Hi, my name is Denise Abel. I'm going to go to John Jay College. I'm going to study criminal justice. I forgot what the question was. I think it was the motto one, but I choose to live by the motto that knowledge is something that no one can take away from you, and that's something I strongly believe in because it is very true. Speaking about a group of people, us, who don't have certain things, the one thing we choose to have is education, and I'm really proud of that.
Well, thank you for 3 brave scholars that went up. And so we're going to go back to our presentation, and we're going to now go into the meat of it. So make sure that you, if you printed out your presentation, that you have it so you can take notes. If not, remember, this gets recorded so you can watch it again. Okay? So your scholarship award. So as you know, the Dream.Us is a national scholarship fund, and it was created to help highly motivated dreamers who want to go to college, get an education, but couldn't afford it do so. Our scholarship helps cover tuition and fees for an associate or bachelor's degree, and you must be accepted and eligible for in-seat tuition, if applicable, at one of our partner colleges in order to receive it. Okay? So the award amounts, and we're going to go into some detail afterwards. So practically, this is our non-California scholars. The award is for tuition and fees based on enrollment up to $6,250 a year. Okay? So the word "up to" is very important. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the $6,250, but it means that that's the maximum that you can receive. Okay? The award is not reduced by any other aid, scholarship, or grants unless scholars' total financial package exceeds estimated cost of attendance based on living arrangements. Okay? So scholars are expected to actively seek other scholarships and grants, because we know the reality is that college is really high, right? Cost of college. So, and PCs, the partner colleges, that's what that stands for, is expected to help close the gap with other aid and on-campus employment. Okay? So for California colleges, for the CSUs and the UCs, the award is for a fixed amount of up to $6,250 for each institution based on estimated cost of attendance minus any available state and institutional aid for 8540 students. No stipend for books, supplies, and transportation are given to these students. And for California community college students, the annual award is $2,000 per year, and no stipend for books, supplies, and transportation are given to students. For those students, everyone else that receives a stipend for books, supplies, and transportation, again, non-California colleges and also non-national online colleges, there is an award payment for the term, which is an additional $500 per term for books, supplies, and transportation. Okay? Now, there's something very key here, is that if your tuition and fees are more, then your $500 gets used first, it's applied first, to pay for your tuition and fees. So why is that? Because paying your tuition and fees is more important, right? You want to do that first. So the max that you can ever receive is $4,000 as a stipend, and we're going to go over specific type of scholar if you are, right? Because there's actually a $2,000 max if you're doing this at community college degree. But again, we're going to go into deeper specifics in the next couple of slides. And then stipends are only given during the fall and spring semester. So these are the type of scholarships, and you will fall under one of these. There are scholarships for first-time college students, either to seek a associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. And then there's a community college graduate scholarship, and those are for the students that finished at the community college, couldn't continue, right, because they didn't have the money to afford it to do a full year, and are now seeking to continue their education to get a bachelor's. So let's look into them a little bit deeper. So if you are an associate's degree first-time college student, let's make you identify yourself. Is that me? Okay, that's me. I'm going to community college, and it's my first time. So you can receive up to $12,500 for tuition and fees, and up to $2,000 for books, supplies, and transportation, which can be used over a 3-year period. Okay? So this gets elongated during your time that you're getting your associate's degree. Okay? Now, if you're doing a bachelor's degree and you're a first-time college student, you receive an up to $25,000 for tuition and fees, and up to $4,000 for books, supplies, and transportation, which can be used over a 6-year period. Okay? Now, I want to be very clear on something here, is that if you start with us as a first-time college student and you get an associate's degree, you do not get an extra $25,000. Right? It's just the money is now made available if you continue to look in the community college through the bachelor's degree program. So it's a total of $25,000 a year receive and a total of $4,000. I'm seeing some in the room, some nodding heads, so I'm glad that this is being explained. And Candy, if there's any time that you want to interject, please let us know. So for the California students, the associate's degree first-time college scholar, you're going to receive up to $4,000 for the total cost of attendance, which can be used over a 3-year period. And if you're a California student seeking a bachelor's degree first time, you get to receive up to $25,000 for the total cost of attendance, which can be used for a 6-year period. So your maximum scholarship award for bachelor's degree students, those that are community college graduates, is up to $25,000 for tuition fees and up to $2,000 for books, supplies, and transportation. And if you are in California, if you're a bachelor's degree community college graduate scholar, you get up to $25,000 for the total cost of attendance, which can be used over a 3-year period. Okay? So we know that there are other costs involved, right? So this is where we ask you and tell you you should plan ahead, because there are room and board costs, there are books and supplies costs, there are personal expenses, and transportation costs. So according to Big Future, this is part of the College Board. The charges vary, right, on the room and board. Some people are living at home, some people are living on campus, and some people are living off campus. All those charges vary, and if you decide to live at home or on campus or off campus, you'll have to have your own rent, meals costs, etc. So consider those costs. Okay? So start kind of creating a little budget so that you know how much you're going to be spending. For books and supplies, it says that at a 4-year public college, the average is about $1,290. Okay? So they're very, very expensive. So plan ahead on that. Of course, you'll have personal expenses like your laundry, your cell phone bill, and anything else that you spend money on. So make sure that you also, what people tell and what they say to do is that to look at your expenses of what you do in a month period, and then you'll be able to know what's going to be invested. So look at that, look at your expense statement, whatever it is that you use, and just plan ahead. And then, of course, transportation, getting to and from your house to school. Try to find out if on your campus there are things that you can do. Maybe there's specific buses that can take you to maybe a metro stop, or maybe there's programs that your school has that give you support for transportation. And here are some tips too that we can share with you. You can buy or rent used books. We also tell students don't skip class. Skipping class is like throwing money out the window. Look into classes requirement and options for testing out of classes. So Florida they call them prep, but there's also other programs, and you can look into them. Maybe you need a language course and you speak Spanish and you speak Iran, you can test out of that, right? Or a computer class, you can test out of that. So see if your institution has those kind of programs where you can test out of it instead of having to pay $1,000 for a course, maybe you can pay just $100. So look into that. And then make sure that you're going to get credit, because that's the worst thing. Oh, I'm not going to take this class. Okay. Shop where they offer student discounts. So a lot of the times, stores and different places give student discounts. So make sure you have your student ID, you get student ID, and you use it. Many times that even restaurants, you can get student discounts. And of course, we ask you to actively seek other financial aid. There's scholarships. Many universities have scholarships for having good GPAs and grades, like presidential scholarships or D scholarships. Find out if you have that on your campus. Of course, we're going to, anytime we get information about scholarship programs, we're going to send it out. And make sure that you still look, even though you receive the scholarship, you still want to continue to apply for other. We ask you to please keep all receipts for all expenses. You may be audited, And you should consult with your college's financial aid office or with your personal or family advisor to determine whether any portion of your award is taxable income that needs to be reported to the IRS. And so when you do your taxes, make sure that you mention. And then disbursement of any additional amounts of food supplies and transportation will come in after October to plan accordingly. So the award payment, we're going to show you right after this slide an actual map with some of the dates, but practically what's going to happen is the ISTS is going to wire funds in late October and in late February for the spring semester after partner colleges have confirmed your enrollment. There's going to be two payments that are going to be done a year for the fall and the spring. And ISTS will send the partner colleges a report that lists the award amounts for each of the scholarships. So let's take a deeper, closer look. In mid-August, partner colleges will have access to scholar reports listing new and renewed scholars. So your name will be on that list. Partner colleges will put holds on scholar accounts so classes don't get dropped. So we've been asking our partner colleges to do that. And then in late September, partner colleges will confirm enrollment, status, tuition fees, and financial aid for each scholar. So it's really important that you take your classes early. It's really important that you have your class schedule set and done, and that you're meeting with your scholar advisor so that when the partner colleges are confirming this, you are checked and ready to go with your classes and your fees, etc. And then in late October, ISTS is going to wire the scholarship funds to the partner colleges with these. Okay? So here's an example to determine how much money a student is going to receive. So this one is a scholar that is attending a four-year college, a four-year university, and they can receive tuition and fees of up to $6,250 plus $1,000 a year for books, supplies, and transportation. So what type of student is this? Where does this student live? Or where does this student does not live? California, that's right. So if you are not in California, you can receive the $1,000. If you are in California, you do not get the stipend. Good. So what we do is we reduce the award amount only if the total financial package that you're receiving exceeds the estimated cost of attendance based on living arrangements. So if the student, for example, lives on campus, there is the tuition and fees is $6,782, plus there's book supplies of $1,364, there's room and board of $8,000, etc. So the total expenses is $21,446. This student is receiving another scholarship of $10,000, and the Dream.Us can give $7,250. So we look at total aid, there's $17,250, but when you go and you say, all right, the total expense is $21,000, you get a plus $17,250, there's still a negative. The student is still a negative of $4,196. So what happens there? We do not reduce the scholarship amount. The student will receive the full $7,250. Now, it's the same scenario for the student right next to it that lives off campus. They have a $9,827 gap. But when you look at the off-campus with family scholar, this scholar is living with family, they actually have a surplus, right, of $5,086. So the student, instead of receiving a total of $7,250 from us, they're going to receive $2,164. Okay? So again, just so that all of you, we've said it already twice, but one more time just in case, stipends will be dispersed in October after partner colleges have confirmed enrollment. So once ISTS sends the wire payment for the students, that's when your colleges, and also remember, colleges, there's a process that once the money comes into their account, but they have to make sure that money goes into each individual person's account. So you might not be seeing, if you are getting a stipend scholarship, that stipend money until probably November. Okay? So plan accordingly. So maybe what you do is that you borrow, some money from your parents or from aunts and uncles, or you reimburse yourself. Okay, so you buy your books up front and then you get. Now, plan accordingly too, because some of the money, right, as we said before, maybe you're not going to get the $500 because some of that money goes to pay for your tuition and fees. So always think about the stipend as an extra support, not necessarily a scholarship that's going to pay for your books right away. Okay? Yeah, we're going to go into questions actually right now. So we're going to pause there. And the next thing we're going to talk about is renewing your scholarship, transferring, and asking for an exception. So if you have any questions around that, just hold them. Right now we're going to talk about just specifically your award. So what we're going to do is we're going to first go into the folks who are in the room presenting, and then we're going to go one by one each of the colleges. If your question gets answered, then we don't repeat it. And then the people who are watching online that are putting their questions through the Q&A in our Google Hangout, we're going to have Melissa that's going to read through them, and then we're going to go through them little by little, okay? We won't have the time to go over every single one of your questions, but that's why we have your scholar advisor to be there. But even before your scholar advisor, your scholar guide is your go-to for, probably it's going to have 99% of the questions. And then after that, you can contact ISTS customer service and ask them these questions, okay? So we're going to see if there are any questions here in the room. And I'm going to see anybody have any questions? Yeah. So if you have a question in the room, just please come up and make sure that you're very, very loud so that we can hear you. Just come up. Yep.
I'm just wondering, so if we buy our books from our own money, but then obviously it's not going to show up in our tuition bill, and then when the funds go through in October, how are we going to get reimbursed for that money if it's going to be reduced?
Yes. So that's a great question, and that's where we ask all of the students to work with their scholar advisor and their financial aid officer to work some of these questions out, right? So more than likely what's going to happen is that some of your institutions, so more than likely is that your institutions are going to be sending you a check. Some institutions have credit cards where they put the money into a credit card, or they do direct deposit into the bank account to the people. But this is where it's up to you to go into your financial aid advisor on campus to figure out how the extra money gets dispersed to you for your stipend. Okay? Do we have any other questions in the room here? Yeah, just come on.
So my question is, so I'm a transfer, so technically I have 2 years left. But looking at my fees and what I have going on, it's going to be more than the $32.50 I think that we're doing every semester, for the 6,000.
So $25,000 up to $25,000, yeah. $6,250 a year.
Mm-hmm. So my tuition is going to be more than that with tuition and fees. I won't be able to use more of that money that I have since I got the scholarship. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So the question is, I am a community college graduate, and can I use more than my $6,250 a year to pay if I only have 2 years to go? So yes, and so what you need to do is make sure that you are working with ISTS to let them know that, and then you'll be able to work on that also with your financial aid office. Okay? Any other questions in the room? Okay, so how about at Hunter? Do we have any questions there? And Hunter, we're going to unmute you so that we can hear your yes or no. Actually, can you unmute yourself on the top of your screen. And just tell us a yes or no if you have any questions.
Candy, I think we're good on questions. Thank you.
Great. So we're going to go now to Palm Beach State. Palm Beach State, unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Do you have any questions?
No, we're all good here. No questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to do a quick pause before we start going through some of the questions that are coming in. And it's a quick pause, and it's an important one because I want to make sure that we get to introduce David, who is leading our Opportunity Scholarship. He just came on board. And so, David, can you please do a little quick introduction?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me fine? Okay. So my name is David Velasquez, and I have been managing the Opportunity Scholarship so far, which is a really exciting new scholarship that TheDream.Us has taken on. And I'm being a dreamer myself, or I used to be a dreamer. I understand the difficulties and hurdles that that you all are going through, and so hopefully I will be doing everything I can to make sure that you all have as smooth and as an enjoyable experience as possible with TheDream.Us. And I'm extremely proud of you guys, and I'm extremely proud of the Dream.Us. So thank you all. Thank you, Candy, for Gabby, for the introduction.
All right. Okay, so Melissa, do you want to just share with us some of the questions that we're getting from our scholars nationwide?
Yes, thank you, Gabby. So we have a few students that are asking about how to not get their classes dropped. So there seems to be a little bit of a confusion as to whether they have to pay the money up front and then they pay them back, or how do they go about that? So I'll leave it up to you to answer the question.
Yes. So, and I'm also going to ask for both Elena and Candy to jump in whenever they want to answer some of these questions as well. And especially because some of these questions ISTS will be able to answer for you when you reach out to the ISTS customer line. And as well, you know, I want Candy, which we're all working with our partner colleges to answer some of these as well. So, Candy, do you want to take this one on, or?
Sure, I can do that. So let me first tell you that we sent this week to all of your partner colleges an email that said their scholar reports are available. And the scholar reports, if you renewed your scholarship on time or you've accepted your scholarship, which is what all of you would have done, includes all of your names and your contact information. And we asked the partner colleges to go into your account and put a hold on the account so that none of your classes will be dropped. Then, once school is started for all the partner colleges and you all are in your classes, the colleges will then confirm enrollment and say, yes, indeed, you are there, you have started, and here's the amount of your tuition fees. And then at that point in time, Elena will then be able to calculate all of your awards and send the amounts to your colleges. So they'll have the money by the end of October. So that's the process. So you don't need to worry about paying the colleges for your classes mid-time because they have the hold on your account. If for any reason you get a notice somehow suggesting your classes are going to be dropped, immediately get to your scholar advisor. Sometimes there's some hiccups in the system and we just need to let people know that there's supposed to be a hold on your account.
Great, thank you, Candy. Melissa, do you want to take on the next question?
Sure. So the next, some students are asking about the California stipend and whether or not that has anything to do with the California Dream Act. And Candy, Gabby, correct me if this is wrong, if you want to add anything or if I'm wrong, but the California Dream Act, for the California students, we do not provide a stipend. So because of the California Dream Act?
So California students are actually, I think all of us should try to move to California. It's a wonderful state, and you guys have practically one of the best the support systems for dreamers. And so in California, there is 8540, and students get Cal Grants. There's two types of grants. There's Cal Grant A and Cal Grant B. So all of our scholars should be receiving those grants. And those grants are actually very generous. They're very similar to what a student receives as a Pell Grant. So in California, our students are technically sometimes even overfunded. And so our scholarship is there to meet the gap. But we do require students to get other grants. And the reason why California students don't receive a stipend is because they are receiving that support and services from the California legislature or the Department of Education in California. Candy, you want to add anything?
No, that was said perfectly.
All right, next question. We'll take a few more, Melissa.
Okay. So some people here are asking about the summer payments and spring 2017 payments and how would that work?
Okay, so it's going to work very similarly to how the fall scholarship is going to work. We're going to send a list to our partner colleges, and they're going to fill out and they're going to confirm enrollment. And after enrollment has been confirmed, sometime in February, ISTS is going to wire the funds to the partner colleges. So again, very similarly to how the fall semester payments are done. Now the summer tuition process is you need to talk to the way we did it this year is that we asked all the students to talk to a scholar advisor and let them know that they were going to be taking summer classes. The scholar advisor collected all of those and then gave one list to Elena from ISTS so that we can make the payments for the summer. So you be on the lookout for those emails with instructions on how to get your summer classes paid. So any Candy or Elena want to add to that?
Sounds complete.
Okay.
And Melissa, I'm going to need to sign out in just a moment, so if you'd like me to take the DACA question, I could do that, and then I'll sign off because I have another meeting to get to.
Perfect. So some students are concerned about what is going to happen to their scholarship with the presidential election, and if we can talk a little bit more about that.
All right, so I think we can all say that we are somewhat concerned about what the outcome of that election might be, but I do want to give you at least some assurance. So one, even if Trump were to be elected, and Trump does say that in his first 100 days he would do away with DACA, it would not impact your scholarship for that this academic year. What we'll all have to do is then see what changes in the law actually do happen. We know that changes are slow to happen, and I think we'll have plenty of time to react and assess what we'll do so that we can continue to support our scholars in the best way possible. But at least immediately, your scholarship would not be taken away. So that's what I want you to have some comfort in. A few of you are in states where having DACA actually is a precondition to getting in-state tuition. And I would hope that those states wouldn't have time to act quickly enough to change the amount of in-state tuition. But again, we'll have some time to react. We'll know that's going to happen, and we'll be working closely with you so that you can make sure that you don't have to worry about this academic year. And then we'll all see what it looks like going forward. Gabby, anything else you would add to that one?
Candy, I think you said that beautifully, and I think all of our scholars. This is why it's important, to get involved. Because we're a 501c3, we can't tell you, who to vote for or not, but we could tell you get involved, do your homework, and do your part. Okay. Great. And so let's send off Candy with a big thank you. Thank you, Candy. So we're going to take just a few more questions from the folks that are coming in, and then we'll start at our renewing component of the renewing, transfer, and exceptions.
Okay, so we have a few students asking about the $25,000 and whether they will know their individual package before October.
So no, because it depends on your tuition and fees on campus. But what you can do is you can use the little chart that is on the presentation to kind of figure out more or less, right? So if your yearly tuition and fees is, let's say, $5,000, then you should expect to receive $5,000 plus, if you get a stipend, $1,000, $500 for each semester. You will not get extra money if your tuition and fees is less than the $6,250. But if it's $5,000, that's what you receive. So just look into that and look into see how much money your tuition and fees is a year, and kind of figure it out for that. Just as an FYI, a lot of students think that this is a full ride scholarship, which is not. We've always said it's an up to $25,000 scholarship. So, you know, after if it takes you, you know, you're on your 4th year and you still have 1 semester to go, but you've exhausted your $25,000, that's it, right? That's what we've allocated for each student. And our goal is to be able to provide scholarships for up to 4,000 students. And we're going to be able to do that by making sure that each student receives up to $25,000 in scholarships. Okay.
So we have one student in Phoenix asking if their status changes from DACA to temporary resident, will they lose their scholarship?
Elena, do you want to answer that one?
Sure, I can go ahead and answer that. Yes, ultimately your status would change as far as the scholarship goes, and what that entails is we don't revoke the scholarship immediately. So because at that point you are then able to try to receive federal aid, we kind of give you about a semester grace period. So you could only receive up to 1 additional semester of tuition from the scholarship. And then once you've hit that 1 semester, then at that point it is completely up to you to, you know, try to find additional scholarships that you then qualify for at that point, as well as federal aid.
And we do want to let every student know that applying for a green card is actually a good thing. And you shouldn't wait because you feel that you're going to lose your scholarship for another year to apply for your green card if you can do it right away. And there's several issues with it. One is that, as you know, being an undocumented student, or in our case, documented student, doesn't necessarily mean that everything is good, right? There potentially could be licensing issues. We've seen it in New York, and Florida, California, where people have gone to law school and they haven't wanted to give them the law degree. In New York, people who went to medical school or went to nursing school, they were giving them licenses, a law passed, and they were able to do that. I think maybe last year, the year before, Chris, I don't know if you have that information, but having a green card opens up a whole new world. And one of the parts of the whole new world is to apply for federal financial aid. More than likely, because our scholarship is for students who meet the criteria for federal financial aid, you will also be able to apply for that and get it, right? So, and of course, a whole bunch of other things. It puts you on a path to citizenship. It puts you on a really good path. So, you know, do not delay. If you can actually apply for a green card and get some sort of status, you should do it and not be afraid. And like Elena said, we're not going to take your scholarship right away. We know it takes time to apply for financial aid, so we give you a grace period of 1 more semester that we pay your scholarship after you get your green card. It's not while you're in the process, it's after you get your green card. so that you can apply for financial aid, and then that takes over for helping you pay for your school. Okay, so we can't take any more questions because we do have to go through the last part of the presentation, and we will have time there also for questions. So I'm going to go back, Melissa, to the presentation now and go through renewing the scholarship and transferring and exceptions. So you have to renew your scholarship every year. Let me repeat that. You have to renew your scholarship every year. And every year when you renew your scholarship, we ask you to make sure that you continue to be eligible for a scholarship. So what you do is that ISTS is going to send you a link to a renewal form in mid-June. When you receive the link, you must complete the form and submit the required documents by the due date. The two required documents is your DACA or TPS eligibility. This shows that you're still eligible. If you've renewed your scholarship, you show that you've renewed, if you renewed your DACA, you show you've renewed your DACA. If it's in the process of renewing, you show that it's in the process of renewing. If it's the DACA you submitted the year before and it's still valid, like mine goes until 2017, I show my 2017 one, okay? You also need to submit your transcripts. Unofficial transcripts are okay, okay? This is why knowing your scholar advisor and being friends with them is good. They're like, oh, can you help me get a copy of your unofficial transcript so you can add this to it. We're going to ask you if you still, and we're going to review your transcripts and see if you still have a 3.0 GPA. If you do not have a 3.0 GPA, you still could renew, but you're going to have to ask for an exception. And the exception, you're going to have to show what happened, why don't you have a 3.0 GPA. You're going to have to, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, work with your scholar advisor, and your scholar advisor has to recommend that you get the scholarship or not. But then ISTS has sole discretion if they're going to renew your scholarship or not. If your GPA is below a 2.0, the likelihood of you getting that scholarship renewed is very low. Okay? So make sure you keep your GPA above a 3.0. We're also going to ask and see if you've maintained full-time status. You have to take 12 credits during the fall and the spring semester. Okay? And then the other thing, of course, we talked about DACA and TPS. Now, unfortunately, this year, there were many scholars that have lost their scholarship because they didn't renew their scholarship. They didn't renew it on time. I got a scholar that called and said, I was working. Okay. You couldn't take 5 minutes of your day to put this together. So you have, practically we give you about a month to renew your scholarship. Again, if you don't renew it on time, you will lose your scholarship. Now some students, like let's say here, might want to transfer. Let's say you are at the Metro and you want to actually go to the community college and want to do your 2 years there first. You can transfer, but you have to follow some steps, okay? So you have to be accepted into the partner college, and you have to continue to meet the eligibility requirements. So in that institution, you must be eligible for in-state tuition as well. So if transferring at the end of the academic year, complete the steps outlined in the guide on or before July 15th. If transferring at the end of midterm, complete steps outlined in the guide at least 30 days prior to the beginning of winter and spring term. Now when I say guide, what do you think I'm talking about? The Scholar Guide, that's right. The Scholar Guide is kind of like your Bible. It's your go-to for everything, okay? It's going to outline a lot of this information and a lot of the questions that you have. ISTS will determine the amount of the award for the remaining academic term or the upcoming academic year and advise you of the award amount. Upon partner college's confirmation of enrollment and cost analysis, ISTS will send funds for the approved amount of the new partner colleges that you're going to be attending. Okay? Now, some of you might be in the community college and might be going now later, maybe in a year or two, to MSU or to a four-year institution, whatever the case may be. You can take your scholarship to a partner college. just make sure that you are working with the financial aid advisor and the scholar advisor at those institutions. So exceptions. Exceptions are not something that are given lightly. Okay? Exceptions, you gotta think about this as your golden ticket. Once you use it, it's gone. Okay? So you can ask an exception to request 3 of the following things. If you need to go part-time, maybe something happened in your family, you need to take care of a sick person, or maybe there's something that's an emergency and it's preventing you from being able to go part-time either in the fall and spring semester, you may request a part-time enrollment. Okay? If your GPA falls below a 3.0, not during semester to semester, but during the time that you renew. So this is where if your GPA in the fall falls below a 3.0, in the spring, you got to put on your batteries, the new ones, take out the old ones, put new ones in, and try to bring the GPA up to a 3.0. Okay? The reason for that is that we don't check your semester for semester grade. We will check every year during your renewal if you maintain a 3.0. Okay? So at least you have a little bit of breathing ground. Not too much. So if you need to break an enrollment, so some of the examples of people who have asked exceptions. I am pregnant. I'm having a baby in September. Can I take a semester off? Yes. Exceptions that will not be considered is I need to work because I really want to go to that concert, Ultra, and it's in Miami, and it's really expensive, so I just need to work to pay for those tickets. So can I take that semester off in the fall? No. Okay. You need to keep full-time enrollment during the fall and the spring. Okay. So to receive a pre-approved exception, you must do the following, and it must be done every year before the academic year starts. Okay. Now, if there are some emergencies and you need to, for instance, take some time off in the spring, do ask for an exception. However, it doesn't mean it's going to be accepted. Okay? So what you need to do is you need to work with your student advisor to develop an academic plan for on-time graduation. Submit the online written request to ISTS along with your academic plan and student advisor's email. The student advisor will receive an email to confirm the educational plan. Now, on your ISTS portal, have you seen the exception form? It's there, okay? So you don't have to go calling everyone, what do I need to do? I need to ask for an exception. The form is already on your portal, okay?
Hey, Gabby, just
Yes?
wanted to interrupt just real quick. For our brand new students, it is not. That is actually one they still have to request. It's all for just for our current students that it's available.
And will they have it available anytime, like in the next couple of months?
I can make it available if you'd like us to, but there's usually so few people that need it. I didn't want to bombard everybody's homepage with the link.
Okay, great. So all of you know that it could be, but if you need it right now, you can ask for it. Okay? And you can reach out to TheDream.Us at applyISTS.com. That email should be kind of like, I don't know, your significant other's phone number you know by memory, okay? TheDream.Us at applyISTS.com. All right. So your student advisor will receive the plan, receive an email, say, oh yeah, I worked with the student, and I think that the student does have a legitimate reason why they need to ask for an exception, okay? So once the plan is in place, ISTS will look at it, will approve it, and well, if you needed to renew your scholarship, it would be for that, okay? So we're going to pause for questions. Any questions on transferring, renewing, or asking for exception? Melissa, are there any questions around this?
Yes, we're having a few students ask about what they do in case they can't reach their scholar advisors for exceptions.
Yes. So if you are having trouble reaching your scholar advisor, in your scholar directory, you also have your financial aid officer. So reach out to them and say, hey, I'm having trouble reaching my scholar advisor. Is there somebody that you think I should be talking to? And if that person is not also can help you, then do reach out to us. Okay? And then what we're going to do is that we're going to reach out to the college and try to see. But this is really important for now and for the rest of your life. If you're having trouble with something, keep notes of it. If you're having trouble at work, if you're having trouble, with your significant other, or with whatever, keep notes of it. So, who do you talk to? When do you talk to? How many times do you call? What emails, right? So then you can show and say, look, I've emailed my student advisor 3 times. I'm forwarding them to you so that, it's not a he said, she said, but this is what I try to do. Okay? So if you do have trouble and are not being able to reach them, also go to the department. Sometimes student advisors are human beings too, and they might be out. Maybe they're on vacation, or maybe they're took a leave, or maybe that person no longer is at that job. So, be proactive about these things too, and try to seek out in the departments. Get to know other people on campus. Get to know some of the faculty. Get to know some of the administrators. But yes, if you have any trouble with that, please reach out to us. And any other questions, Melissa?
So some of the students are asking what if they're not on the list from their partner college?
Go ahead.
If they're not on the list, the school honestly just needs to rerun a new list. So if that particular scholar has recently made a change, if the school has saved the spreadsheet previously, then yes, they're not going to be on it. So the reports that the schools can run are actually a live report. So if a student, 5 minutes ago, all of a sudden has now switched schools, the school can run it in that moment, and the student will now show up on their list. So I would just ask them to rerun their list. And if they're not on it, then at that point we need to see what's going on, because you either not made the change correctly in the system, or let our customer care department make that change for you.
So in this case, who do we reach out to? Okay. Great. Any other questions? No, we'll take one more.
Okay. So some students are asking about changing their, where do they go to change their college, or if they change their living situation. And I would add to that their contact information too.
I'll let Elena take this one.
Yeah, if they are making a change to their college, please, please, please contact our customer care department and let them make the change for you. The reason being is our reports are built around a very specific list, and we want to make sure that that information is being relayed properly. If it is just your personal contact information, you can do that yourself on the ISTS site. So when you log into your account, there is an area that says My Profile, and that is where you can update home address, email address, phone number, any of that. The only thing, again, that we ask that you don't update there is your school information. We want to be the ones to update your school information for you.
Did everyone get that? Great. And so it's also, just really quickly on the question of I'm not on the list. Also, one of the things that every student should do is keep all the emails that we send and save them. Especially the email that we send out saying you have received an award from TheDream.Us, so you can also show that to your college and say, run your list again, see what's happening, but also here's a proof that I am a recipient of the scholarship. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the presentation because we have 15 more minutes to go. And I know some of you, this has been just a lot of information. But again, you can watch this again over and over and over until all your questions are kind of answered to the end, or you can also see your scholar guide. So your scholarship guide will help you understand how to receive and manage the award. Dates and processes change, so always check the DreamUS website for the most recent version of the guide. And update, like Elena said, your contact information in your ISCS portal so you can contact you via email, phone, text, or Facebook. So I've had to call some of you, some of your homes, sometimes your parents answer. Let your parents know that we can't really give information to them, that we really have to talk to you. So if you have a cell phone or that, whatever number we can talk to you and have access to, please provide that. And if you can't, again, make sure that you put that in there because we're sending you information and it's a long email, you're not going to get it. So here is how to access your Scholar Guide. You go to the Dream.Us website. There's a specific Scholar portal, and it's password protected. The password is Scholar, right? And it's Scholar all lowercase. And once you go in there, you'll see this. You're going to see the Dream.Us Scholarship Program Guide, and there's a PDF and you can download it. And you're also going to see your Scholar Directory. And the great thing about the Scholar Directory is that you're going to be able to get to see other Scholar, other partner colleges information. Okay? So if you are transferring from a community college to the 4-year, you can already start seeing who's the person that you need to be talking about the 4-year there. Okay? And it's going to have the information of both your Scholar advisor and your financial aid advisor. It has emails and phone numbers. Now there's a few institutions, I would say about a handful, that we still don't have contact information for. We're trying to get it from them. They have new people coming in. So as soon as we have that, so make sure that you're always going to our site, their site, and that you get your most up-to-date Scholar Guide and get the list. ISCS Customer Care, they will answer questions regarding award payments, what the scholarship can and cannot be used for, status of the award payment, how to renew your scholarship, including eligibility, deadlines, renewal process, how to request an exception, technical issues. And again, the email, TheDream.Us at iscs.com. And we all memorized it by now. And it's your significant other, that's right. And the telephone number. Okay? When you call, reference the Dream.Us scholarship program. What institution you're in. Okay? And you should always do that too when you send out your introduce yourself. Who are you? What institution you're at? So that it's easier for those who are on this end, right? There's 1,700. So we're going to try to get to know every single one of you, but the reality is that it's going to be sometimes impossible to do it. So make sure that when you send emails, it's not, I'm having trouble with my college advisor. Okay. Who are you? What school you're at? Who's your scholar advisor? This kind of thing. Okay. Talking about scholar advisor. Your scholar advisor will help you develop a plan for completion for your degree, review your process and address any concerns or issues. They will help you complete your end of term check-in to review your progress against your plan and update as needed. Develop a proposed plan for completion of ICS and review approved if you receive something like this or no, or if you're unable to maintain full-time status. They will help you find answers to questions about academics, financial aid, internships, career opportunities, your health, etc. Your financial aid advisor identify other resources of potential financial aid, understands how much money you have received for the Dream.Us, determines how to best manage your financial aid to cover as many expenses as possible. And then the Dream.Us, and I'm your contact for the Dream.Us. And you will contact me when you want to take leadership role in the scholar community, when you want to help or speak at the Dream.Us events, when you have ways or suggestions to improve the program, you want to share your story, you want to help promote the scholarship for the Dreamers, you can come to me. And then if you have any questions regarding your immigration status or anything that relates to that. So I want to explain to you in layman's, right? right, of what this means. And so practically, the way last night I was like, okay, how do I do this? How do I explain to the scholars the way our scholarship program works? So think about when you go to a store, a grocery store, and you want to buy rice, right? And that's the issue that you have. You want to buy rice. So the first thing you do is what? You go to the store and you look up on the aisles, right? And you see the different things that are in those aisles, and then you're like, oh, there's rice, okay? So that thing up on the aisles is your scholar guide, okay? You don't go and call corporate and say, hi, I'm at your store and I want to buy rice, right? You don't do that. So you don't call TheDream.Us and say, oh, I want to buy rice. The first thing you do is you look up and you say, all right, where's the aisle? I need rice. Now, if you're looking for something specific and you cannot find it there, you also call corporate and say, hi, I'm looking for Asian, the jasmine rice, but I can't find it. No, you go to customer care, right? So your customer care in this instance is ISTS. And ISTS would be able to help you and tell you, oh, you got to go to aisle 5, on the second row towards the end, you'll see the jasmine rice. Now, if you're having trouble and issue, and the rice that you bought actually has the little black bugs inside, you can either go to customer care, right, and say, hey, I bought this from you and had this, right? Or that's when you call corporate, and that's when you say, hey, the rice that I bought from your store actually has some little rice. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? You do not have to go straight from, if you have a question, from the rice to corporate to the bin that you don't do that, right? You take it a step at a time. So your first thing is always to look at your scholar guide. Okay? Then maybe somebody walking down the aisle, right? That can be a scholar advisor. And you say, hey, I have a question. After that, if your scholar advisor is not able to answer it, that's when you go to ISTS. And I am 100% sure that by you calling ISTS and saying, I'm part of the Dream.Us scholarship program, I have this question, that you're going to get your question. Okay? Or you send out the email. Now, if there's a big problem, then you come back. Okay? All right, so hopefully that analogy helped. And the last thing, because we only have a few more minutes that I want to go over, is your scholar community. Okay? And so your scholar community, you have joined a family of over 1,700 scholars. Congratulations. You have a big family now. You would serve as leaders and mentors to other scholars who are going to follow in your steps and your shoes. And we ask you to please join the Scholar Facebook community. If you go to that link, you can ask to join the community, and then we will accept you. Okay? And so the last thing I want to leave you with before we go to a few other questions, we'll answer a few more questions, is this poem. It's a poem by Maya Angelou, but it's recited by a dreamer, and her name is Nadia Rojas. And it's called, the poem is called Still I Rise. One second.
Still I rise. Interpretation of
You can read if you can't hear.
I rise. Interpretation of a poem written by Maya Angelou. Presentation Nadia Rojas. You may write me down the history that you hear, twist the lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells, pumping in my living room, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high. Still, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines, digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, and the dream and the hope. I rise for my family. I rise for my friends. I rise for my community.
So I know every single one of you are going to rise as well. And as all you saw there, Nadia not only was able to graduate from high school, graduate from college, but also is now on to going to graduate school and graduating from there. So I know all of you are going to be able to accomplish many of those things too, and we're really so proud of all of you. So we've run out of time, so we won't be able to go to any more questions, but we wanted to make sure to thank MSU Denver for hosting us here. And I wanted to thank Elena for her amazing, amazing, incredible work. This program is one that is probably proving itself to be very challenging because we've grown really fast, but it's just so incredible to see how you're able to keep all the facts and information. And she really kind of knows every single one of the students, so it's amazing. And thank you for everything that you do, Elena.
You're welcome.
Of course, our team, Tanya, Candy, who left, our founders, for all their help and all their work, and my partner in justice in this work, Melissa. You know, if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't happen. So thank you so much for your help in managing this. And then I want to say thank you to Chris and to Nancy and to the folks at Palm Beach State College for being with us today, and of course all the amazing students at Hunter. Let's see all our Hunter students. Yeah. Where the Palm Beach, they're more chill because they're from the Sunshine State. You know, they've gotten too much sun. Hey, yeah. And then our MSU Denver, the Community College of Denver, and Colorado State University students here. That's going to be our thing now. Every single time you go and see some Dream.Us scholar on campus, this is what you got to do. All right, so this concludes the 2016 Youth Scholar Orientation. Thank you so much again for joining us, and all the scholar advisors, all the partner colleges who are with us to thank you for everything that you do to make sure that their scholars are successful. Thank you. Bye-bye.